We are from a small town in South Georgia where everybody knows everybody. And so we raised the kids in church. We always went. I mean, we were a Christian home. We lived out our faith. Caleb had dated a girl in high school, and it came time for him to go to college. So a group of his friends, him and the girl he was dating, everybody went away to Georgia Southern together. He had broken up with the girl that he had gone with. They were still friends. They were up and down. That was kind of their relationship. At this point, it was a down. And she was in a tragic car accident and killed instantly. And he now tells me that, Mom, he said, up until that point, alcohol had always been fun. It's what you did with the boys when you were hanging around playing a game. And he goes, but that night that she died, he said, I picked up and I chugged a thing of liquor. And he said, it was the first time I ever realized that alcohol could stop pain. It could stop reality. It could stop whatever was going on in your life. And he said, I learned that day. Several months later, we get a call in the middle of the night that he had been arrested. You know, my husband's 15 years law enforcement at that point, and we were like, what are you talking about? My nephew called, said he's been arrested. And we were like, okay, we've never been on this side of things before. We've never been, how do we get our kid out of jail? So his court date came. I went down for court with him, stood before the judge. The judge said, you stay clean for a year, keep your act together. All of this will be expunged from your record. It'll be like it never happened. A couple months later, we get a call that he'd been arrested again, this time for a DUI. To say that I was livid and his dad and I were livid is an understatement. I called down there to speak to him, and the jailer was like, now you can't be losing your temper. I said, that's water under the bridge. Put my son on the phone. So it was pretty much, you're coming home. So he came home, and it was at that point we started realizing the depth of his addiction. When you're a parent and you're faced with your child is addicted to a substance that, first of all, I didn't even know about. I'd never been around alcohol, wasn't raised around it. I didn't know how to deal with it. And so how do you reach your kid? What do you do? And I would sit and talk to him, son, what are you willing to give up for that drink that you're holding in your hand? What are you doing? And he would lay with his head in my lap, just cry and say, Mom, I don't have a reason to live. I can't see past the next drink. I can't see a future for me. And I'm just lost. I mean, everything, my faith, if there's ever been anything that shook my faith, at that point in my life, that was it. Where I was like, God, where are you? I've been faithful. Look at all, I've served you. I, grew up in a Christian school, in a Christian home. I went away to ministry. I've done everything. And I don't even know how to minister to my own son. God, you have to be bigger than my abilities, bigger than my doubts, bigger than everything, because I'm not losing my son. I'm not giving up. I don't care what you do. I don't care how you push me away. I don't care how much you drink. I'm not giving up on you. And I would sit and read that verse. There's a verse in the Bible. I know the plans I have for you, plans to give you a hope and a future. And I would say that to him over and over and over. Mom, I don't see a future. God says it. I'd say, Caleb, do you believe God? Yes, I believe God. God has a hope and a future. He created you for a purpose, and he's not giving up on you. I was talking to my mom. She says, can I talk to Caleb? And I said, yeah. So I put Mom on the phone, and she said, Caleb, I know you made a profession of faith when you were a little boy, that you were a believer. She said you were about 7 or 8 then. Did you really understand it? Are you sure that you accepted Christ? And he goes, Nana, I don't know. I'll go to heaven. And so Mom, over the phone, led him to Christ again, and he repented, and he turned his life over to God at that point. It's almost like God on his throne stood up. He stood up in the life of my son and worked a miracle. And I've never seen such transformation as I'm seeing. I mean, if God points something out in Caleb's life, he gets rid of it. Do not give up. They may be 50 years old. Do not give up on them. Continue to call their name before God. Continue to fight. Continue. Just as if they were physically drowning in an ocean. You wouldn't just sit back and say, you're on your own, kid. No. you would go after them. You would give your life for them. And that's just where I say to parents, don't ever give up.